Life's a gamble, cars in the air. Stack decks cheating, but nobody cares. You hustle or fold, that's the game we play. The dealer's blind to the price we pay. Life's a gamble, a hot topic today. Roll the dice, but the odds never sway. Talk about it, fight about it, find a way. Life's a gamble every single day. Politicians lie while the streets stay raw. Laws get written, but who writes the law? Rich stay climbing, poor dig deep. Dreams so cheap while the shadows creep. Hey, money is power, so they say. But what's the cost when your soul's in play? Life's a gamble, a hot topic today. Roll the dice, but the odds never sway. Talk about it, fight about it, find a way. Life's a gamble every single day. What will you do when the stakes rise high? When the truth's a whisper and the world's a lie. Better know your line, what you won't cross. A win's no win when your soul is lost. Yeah. I'm D in the plug. Yeah. Tune in the day and the word to the wise. If you don't know what you will do for money, you better know what you won't do for it. You better know what you won't do for it. Yeah.
Yo, what's up, y'all? What's up? Give me just a second. Send out them notifications, y'all. Share this video. Send them out. Send them out right now. Send them out. While I send out a few. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. Y'all send them out, send them out, send them out. We finna get it in tonight, y'all. Yes, sir. Gotta send out a few more, y'all. You're gonna be patient with me. Be patient with your boy. Patient with your boy. All right, I think that's enough. I think that's enough. All right, let's get it. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. What's up, everybody? What's good? I hope everybody's doing wonderful today. I'm feeling pretty good myself. Despite this crazy old world we live in there, y'all. But I'm glad y'all can tune in with me. I think I got a good little topic for us tonight, y'all, to discuss. May take a few callers tonight, too. I think this is a topic that a lot of people don't discuss. This is something that needs to be discussed more often. Because I know I've been in the courtroom, and I'm sure some of y'all been in the courtroom. You probably got family members still locked up to this day. Probably been locked up since the 60s and the 70s. But you go in these courtrooms and you look at these judges and some of these prosecutors, and you think to yourself, damn, y'all some idiots. Y'all some fucking dumbasses. But of course, we can't say that out loud. We can only think that. You know what I'm saying? Like my boy Smoker said on Friday. When he leave, I'll talk again. I'll be talking again. But anyway. Yeah, y'all, let me know who in the chat. Comment in the chat section. Let me know who in here with me. Put a thumbs up. Let me know you rocking with me. Because we about to go in today. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, we are. I can't wait to get deep into this conversation. And let me know in the chat if y'all got anybody in prison. Y'all know anybody in prison for some maybe drugs or something? Let me know in the chat. Well, until then, I guess we're gonna get this thing started. Ooh, yeah. Tell your people to tune in, share the link, or whatever you gotta do. We might make some people uncomfortable, but that's the That's exactly the point. I want to know where y'all watching from tonight. I want to see who in the building. So I'm going to give it another minute or two, let some more people come in. Yes, sir. This is a conversation you want to catch from the beginning. And while y'all waiting, I want y'all to think about somebody you know personally who got locked up. Yeah. But just hold that in your head. We're going to come back to that feeling. All right, ain't nobody let me know in the chat. Anyway, I'm going to go in then. All right, welcome. For all of you who don't know me, I call myself DM the Plug. Not because I sell no drugs. It's a whole different meaning. Open your mind up. And you are now here with DM the Plug, Hot Topics with DM the Plug. And you are now plugged in with DM the Plug. And I hope y'all stay plugged in. Well, we talk about stuff, not the stuff that they want us to talk about, but we talk about stuff that actually can affect your life, your family, and your community. What's up? Yeah. I'm glad you tuned in with me. Yeah. All right, so anyway, today, y'all, we're going to dismantle something that a lot of people don't know about or have been gaslit into accepting as normal. We talking about the United States justice system, specifically. And the sentencing of drug offenses and violent crimes, including murder. I'm going to say that again. People who sell drugs, you know what I'm saying, are getting more prison time than people who kill somebody. I want y'all to think about that. Not in every case, not always, but enough. Shit, more than enough. Fuck it. Systemically, statistically, and historically. Enough to where we need to have this conversation today. I'm gonna hit y'all with some numbers first before I go any further. Because I don't just sit up here and rant. I don't just sit up here and talk shit like some podcasters do. I'm gonna come with some damn receipts. According to the United States Sentencing Commission, the average federal sentence for a drug trafficking offense is around 11 to 15 years, depending on the drug and the quantity. The average federal sentence for manslaughter, that's killing somebody, is roughly 3 to 5 years. Y'all see the comparison? Voluntary manslaughter, meaning you intentionally took a life. It was just without what they call premeditation. And that averaged out to about 4 years in many state courts. So what this justice system here in America tells me that a man who sells cocaine to a willing adult, not something that's forced, but a person who sells cocaine to a willing adult gets triple the time of a man who actually put somebody in the ground. Make that make sense. And it's not just manslaughter. You got to look at second-degree murder. That's an average of 10 to 15 years in many states. And that's with good behavior, parole eligibility. Shit, you got a decent lawyer, you could be out within 7 to 8 years. But the federal drug charges with the what they call mandatory minimums, it ain't no parole in a federal system. Y'all follow me now? They abolished federal parole in 1987, where you do 85% of your time, your sentence, minimum. So you got a guy that killed somebody might do 7 years. The guy who sold drugs might do 17 years. That's not what I call a justice system. That is what I call a punishment system. And it's punishing the wrong things. Go to the comments real quick. Yeah, it's punishing the wrong things. That's fucked up. Your fam got 30 years for a drug charge. Oh, you just wait. Just stay here. I'm gonna show you a couple of videos. I'm gonna show you some shit. Like I said, I'm gonna bring some receipts tonight. I ain't just here to be talking. I'm not one of those guys. So we gotta look at how this shit happened. Because y'all know it didn't happen by accident. I did my little research. I got my little notes with me. In the 1980s, Congress passed the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1986. This was when President Reagan was in office. This is where he come up with the so-called war on drugs. And what this law did was it created a mandatory minimum sentence, meaning the judges had no discretion. The law said the number, and that's the number of years you got, period. You get caught with 5 grams of cocaine, it's a mandatory 5 years. Federal, no parole. You get caught with 500 grams of powder cocaine, same 5 years, mandatory minimum. So you see what happened? It took 100 times more powder cocaine to trigger the same sentence as crack. Now, think about it. If you was born back in the 80s, you know what I'm talking about. Who was using crack in the 1980s, around 1986? Let's just say 1986. Who was using crack? What's up, boy? You all right? Glad you can come on in here with me, man. So who was using crack around 1986? It was poor black communities. And the communities have been flooded with the crack. Now, on the flip side, ask yourself, who was using powder? You remember at one point, powder was very expensive. So who was using powder? There you go. It was, yeah, you're right. All right. Most of the white people who was using powder. So you got the same drug form, but the sentencing was 100 to 1 in ratio. And they didn't fix that. They didn't fix that until the Fair Sentencing Act of 2010. That's 24 years later. And only then they only reduced it to like 18 to 1 ratio. It's still not equal. It's still not fair, but it's enough to be less embarrassing. So you think about how many people done lost their damn decades of their lives in that window of time. Think about how many families got destroyed in that 24-year period, that gap. While you had damn politicians out here arguing about whether the disparity was significant enough to address. That ain't no damn system that made a mistake. And anybody who believe that is a damn fool. I'm going to tell you straight, I'll look in your eyes and tell you you're a damn fool. That's what you call a system that chose its victims and defended the choice for damn near a quarter century. It's fucked up. Only if you was around doing the crack epidemic, you would know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna take you back a little further. You know, well, I was talking about like 1986. So I'm gonna take you back a little further, well, because the war on drugs didn't start in the 80s. It actually started in the 70s. I'm gonna read something to y'all. And what I'm about to read to y'all, this is not my opinion. This is from a guy named John. I can't pronounce his last name, so I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. But anyway, he was Richard Nixon's domestic policy chief. He said this in a 1994 interview that wasn't published until 2016 in what they call Harper's Magazine. He said this, not me. I'm finna quote him directly. The Nixon campaign in 1968 and the Nixon White House after that, they had two enemies. That was the anti-war left and the black people. Quote, "We knew we couldn't make it illegal to be either against the war on black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and the blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news." He said that. I didn't say that. I hope y'all caught that because I don't want to have to repeat it, but I hope y'all caught that. This is not a damn conspiracy theory. That was a damn confession from inside the White House on record. On record in the White House. Go back to the comments. They were targeting low-level dealers while the top-tier dealers with the powder were white. Exactly. Exactly. Crazy out here. The war on drugs, y'all, it was really never about drugs. It was about people. Specifically people. Controlling and dismantling communities that were becoming politically powerful and socially organized. And then they come up with these sentencing laws. That started the foundation. That built the foundation. And they carry that same DNA. Now, I'm going to talk about what happened when you actually get caught up in the system. Because the law is one thing. But how the prosecutors use those laws is a different conversation. This is pretty much how it works right here. You get arrested on a drug charge. Let's say it's a distribution charge. The prosecutor may look at what they have. You know what I'm saying? And then they can charge you with multiple counts. They might charge you with a possession, distribution, conspiracy. Might even throw in a weapons charge to enhance the charges. Even if the gun wasn't yours. So now here you is looking at potentially 40, 50 years on paper. And we go get these, what they call court-appointed lawyers. You got to think about it. They handling 100 other cases. And they can barely remember what your damn name is. That damn prosecutor or that court-appointed lawyer may walk up to you, sit you down and say, look, they offering you 12 years if you plead. If you plead guilty. If you go to trial and lose, you're looking at 30 years. So what you do? What do most people do? Because you got to think, you still got to make 12 people to decide with you, that jury. And that's a risky chance you taking. Those 12 years compared to those 30 years. So that's why you get like 97% of federal convictions come with plea bargains. 97% convictions come with plea bargains. That means the system that we see on your TV, that trial, that jury, the innocent until proven guilty shit, that shit fake. The real system is a negotiation. And that damn prosecutor gonna hold all the chips. Meanwhile, on the murder side, you might have a wealthy defendant, somebody with some money, with a real defense. You know, they can fight. They can suppress evidence. They can challenge witnesses. They can delay trials. They can negotiate down the lesser charges. Basically, what I'm telling y'all, justice in America has a price tag. And if you can't pay it, you lose. Let me go to the comments real quick. This country been criminalizing blacks to take the focus off the white man that's flying and floating drugs here. If you know you guilty, take the 12. Yeah, but what if you're not guilty? That's what I was saying. What if you know you haven't committed a crime? Let's say you're not guilty. They'll lie to you, say they got evidence on you. They'll make you think that. And you better not have no co-defendant. You better not have no co-defendant. If you have a co-defendant, sometimes you have to take that plea because you don't know if that co-defendant talking. You know what I'm saying? So it's a tricky situation. If you know you're innocent. But if you can't convince, if your lawyer can't convince 12 people, it's hard to convince one person of anything. Think about how many times you had to try to convince your old lady you wasn't cheating or whatever. Or your old man, you had to convince your old man. That's just one person. Remember back in the days you had to convince your mama, I ate all my food. I didn't do this. I didn't do that. It's hard to convince one person. So a lot of people take these plea bargains, these plea deals, and be innocent, but they just don't want to face the more time going through the trial because they're going to be sentenced to more time. Like I said, justice in America has a price tag. And if you can't pay it, you lose. So we got to talk about money. Because none of this shit makes sense to you until you follow the money. Once you follow the money, it all makes sense to you. In most cases. Go to the comments. Y'all got them comments coming on in. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, y'all feel free to call in. Anybody want to call in and say anything? I'll take a few calls tonight. Before I get to the money. Let's see what they talking about. I'm sure y'all can read each other's comments. So I don't think I got to read y'all comments to each other. But I am acknowledging y'all comments. I'm checking them out. I think y'all can read each other's comments. I hope you could. And all of y'all watching on YouTube, yeah, good shit. Hey, Chris, you got to cross on over to YouTube, my guy. You ain't got to move now, but eventually you got to cross on over. This Facebook getting out of hand. Oh. All right, I got to stay on topic. I was about to go somewhere else with this shit. So, we say we got to follow the money. The United States of America has about 2.3, I did my little research, about 2.3 million people in prisons and jails. That's more than any other country on this earth. That's more than China. That's more than Russia. That's more than any other nation in the history of civilization. And think about all the people. Y'all know China got a lot of people. A lot of people in China. But here in America, we got more people in prison. Make that make sense. And most of those people are in private prisons. Follow me now. I'm talking about facilities that's owned and operated by for-profit corporations. Like you got what they call you got Core Civic and you got GEO Group. Go look it up if you don't believe me. Go do your research. These companies have contracts with the government. Meaning the government promised them to keep their beds at a certain percentage. Full all the time, at all times, at least 80 to 90%. Think about that. Think about what that actually means. That's a financial incentive. That's a contractual obligation to keep people locked up. Those same companies out here spending millions of dollars lobbying for longer sentences, stricter drug laws, and reduce parole eligibility. It's not because they care about the public safety. It's because those empty beds in prison and in jail don't make no damn money. That's what that is. That's why you gotta follow the money. So you got a system here. Let me go to the comments real quick. So you got a system here. You said Michael Jordan is a big investor in prisons? You know, I think I heard somebody say that one time. I think I have heard somebody mention that. I'm gonna have to go and check that out, look into that. But I think you're right, Carlos. I think you're right. So damn, maybe I need to stop wearing these Michael Jordan shoes. I don't know, but he's just investing in the prison. He's not the motherfuckers out on the streets. He's not the motherfuckers in the courtroom with those black robes on, throwing us in there. But I don't know. I had to think about that. I had to put some thought into that. I'm gonna think about that. Read some of the comments. Hey, excuse my language. I said I was gonna stop cursing on him, but sometimes you gotta curse just to get your point across. I hope y'all follow me. Hey, as y'all come on in here, as y'all come in, go and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go and subscribe to my YouTube channel as y'all come in here. If you're just not entering the building, go and subscribe. Do that for your boy. I want to ask y'all a quick question before I go on. And be honest with yourself. I think y'all all pretty much know. I just want to know, do y'all think the justice system is fair all the time? Do you think it's weird sometimes? Let me know. I'll give you a second to think about it. You shouldn't need no time. Take your time, though. Take your time. All right, time's up. I want to know, do y'all think the justice system is fair? When y'all get a chance, I want y'all to go look at this guy that's in trial right now. He's a YouTuber. He go around and antagonizing black people, calling them the N-word, trying to provoke somebody. But he's in prison because he ended up shooting somebody. And guess what? This guy goes around antagonizing people who's minding their own business. Goes to jail for shooting somebody. He called himself Chud the Builder, I think. But he goes to jail for shooting somebody that he antagonized. And you got all these people done raised over like $150,000 for his, to help him with court, and stuff. But the judge won't allow him to use that money. But just think about how people donate money to somebody who's antagonizing people. That kind of lets you know what kind of country we live in. You got people donating, Chud the Builder. Yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. That's crazy. You got people donating their hard-earned money to bad behavior. Since what kind of country reward bad behavior? Think about what type of country we're in when you gonna go spend your hard-earned money to donate to somebody who's doing bad behavior. Anytime you go and antagonize people, you are what I call an uncivilized roach. So you go to jail and you want to beg for mercy. And I will admit, this judge, he ain't trying to hear that shit. You want to go in the courtroom and cry. You should have thought about all that before you was antagonizing people. So deal with it, tough guy. So let me get back to my topic. Y'all go check out Chud the Builder. He got YouTube videos. I think he from Tennessee, somewhere up in that area. So y'all, back to what I was saying. These politicians, they get that what you call tough on crime credibility from locking people up. You got these damn prosecutors that build careers over fucking conviction rates. These private prisons, they profit for bodies in those beds in that prison. And the people that's caught up in this system, they mostly poor, they mostly black and brown, mostly in communities that have been economically gutted. Economically gutted. A lot of people don't have no money to push back and fight back. This is a machine. And the drug offenders are the fuel for that machine. I'm gonna give y'all some names. I got a couple of videos. I'm gonna show y'all some little short videos. I'm gonna give y'all a couple of names, and this is gonna let you know. If you don't know by now, this is gonna let you know how the justice system is real out of whack. First, we're gonna start off. I'm getting a call while I'm live. We're gonna start off with a guy by the name of Fate Vincent Winslow. He's out of Louisiana, Mississippi. This man sold $20 worth of marijuana to an undercover cop. $20. He got life in prison without parole. I'm gonna say that again. He sold $20 worth of marijuana to an undercover cop and got life in prison without parole under the Louisiana's habitual offender law for $20 a week. Y'all don't believe me, do you? I got receipts.
He didn't kill anyone. He didn't rob a bank. All he did was help someone buy $20 worth of marijuana. And for that, the judge sentenced him to life in prison without parole. This is the story of Fate Vincent Winslow, a man from Shreveport, Louisiana. In 2008, Fate was homeless. He was broke, struggling, and hungry. One night, an undercover officer approached him and asked if he could help get some weed. Fate wasn't a drug dealer, but for a small favor, he could earn a little money to eat. So he introduced the undercover cop to a dealer and pocketed a $5 tip for making the connection. The total deal, $20 of weed. That was it. But Louisiana had something called the habitual offender law. Because Fate had prior non-violent convictions, this tiny offense counted as his third strike. When he was arrested, Fate probably thought he'd spend a few months in jail, maybe a year at most. But what came next was something no one could have imagined. Fate's trial was quick. His public defender barely fought the charges. The jury, all white. The prosecutor told the court that Fate was a repeat criminal who needed to be taken off the streets. And then came the sentence. Not 5 years, not 10 years, not even 20. Life in prison, without the possibility of parole. For $20 of marijuana, Fate was sent to Angola prison, one of the harshest prisons in America. While inside, he watched the world change. State after state legalized marijuana. Celebrities built billion-dollar weed businesses. People lit up in public, no fear, no punishment. Yet, Fate sat in a cell, serving a life sentence for the very same plant. He once wrote from prison, "I was just trying to survive, and now I'm sentenced to die in here." All for $20 worth of weed. For 12 long years, advocates and lawyers fought for his freedom. Finally, in 2020, his sentence was overturned. Fate Winslow walked out of Angola a free man. But freedom came late. He had lost over a decade of his life. His children had grown. The world outside was unrecognizable. And the question remains, how can a man be sentenced to die in prison for weed, while others make fortunes selling it legally? Justice delayed is justice denied.
How can a man serve that long for selling a plant that grows from this earth? But y'all, I'm showing y'all these videos for a reason. I'm showing y'all these videos for a reason. It's gonna make sense till I get like to like the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth and fifth video. You'll see what I'm talking about. That was the first one. So when I get to the fourth and fifth video, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Yes, indeed. So the next illustration is a guy by the name of Weldon Angelos. I think his name, Weldon Angelos. I think I'm pronouncing it right. He was a first-time offender. First-time offender. He sold marijuana a few times while carrying a gun. A gun that he never used. Never threatened anybody with that gun. Federal mandatory minimums stacked his sentence to 55 years. The judge who sentenced him publicly called it unjust, and said his hands were tied 55 years. That's crazy. Y'all don't believe me? I know you don't. I know.
That's when I looked to my partner Hollis, who is, I've been working with since the 90s.
That's the guy right there in the
I
middle.
said, we need to do something for cannabis offenders. So we decided to launch a nonprofit, and our first initiative being Mission Green, which will focus exclusively on those serving time for cannabis offenses.
Amazing. That's really amazing. So just so people out there know the full story, so you were sentenced, you went to prison. How much of that sentence did you serve?
13 years in U.S. Penitentiary Lompoc.
What was that like?
It was crazy. I mean, I was in there for some weed, and I was in there with killers and murderers and rapists, and I'm seeing them coming in and leaving, and I'm still in there for some
They
weed.
coming in and getting out before him, and he only got
prison
charged with weed.
Your story, what did they say?
They want to see my paperwork, because they're like, there's no way you got 55 years for weed. So they're like, let me see your paperwork, man. You must have killed somebody. You got some bodies in your background or something. I'm like, no, man, that's for some weed. They're like, no, you got something in your past then. And I showed them paperwork, and they just couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Insane.
Truly.
It's crazy, man. So y'all just stay with me. Stay with me. The next contestant, I'm going to say contestant, name is Corvin Cooper. This is the third one. When I get to the fourth and fifth one, you'll figure out where I'm going with this. Corvin Cooper, a nonviolent marijuana trafficking conviction. Sentenced to life without parole, he was released in 2020 only because Kim Kardashian personally talked to Donald Trump. So think about that. It took a damn celebrity intervention for a nonviolent drug offender to get out of a life sentence. I know y'all don't believe me. I got proof. Hold on. I got proof.
A local man received a last-minute commutation from President Trump before he left office. Corvin Cooper was serving a life sentence after getting a third strike for selling marijuana. Cooper arrived this morning at LAX after being released from a federal prison in Louisiana. He was one of more than a dozen people whose sentences were commuted by President Trump for crimes related to marijuana, which is now commercially legal in 15 states and legal for medicinal purposes in 34 states. Cooper talked about going home.
I want to give all glory to God. I can't wait to see my kids. I haven't seen them in years. And it's just thank my attorney for really delivering on his word and never giving up on me, and all the people, all the letters, all the things, all the activist groups. There's too many lists of names. I love Last Prisoner Project. I love everybody. We're going to do big things. Brittany K. Barnett, Alice, thank you for walking it in. It's just too amazing. It's a feeling that it's better than the lottery. The lottery can't touch this.
Well, Cooper had been in prison since 2013. His prospects for an early release, though, improved back in 2017 when changes in California's law reduced both of Cooper's prior drug convictions from felonies to misdemeanors.
Now, y'all think about all the people that's locked up. Like back during those crime bill days, Joe Biden, that's still locked up from weed charges. And now you got people put a label on it. They can put a label on it, sell it in a little glass jar, right? And profit off of it. Seems like those people who's been locked up all these years should be able to get out. What's the difference? What's the damn difference? So now let me give you a little contrast. Remember I told y'all the fourth and fifth contestants? Okay, now we got Ethan Cooch. A drunk driver killed 4 people. A drunk driver killed 4 people in Texas, injured several more. His defense argued that he suffered from affluenza. I think I'm saying that right. Affluenza. Being too rich to understand consequences. He got a probation, 0 prison time for killing 4 human beings. That's 4 families grieving, 4 people, 4 families missing their loved one. And he got probation. Compared to these guys selling some fucking weed. Make that make sense. I know you don't believe me. I know you don't. I know you don't.
The other moment playing out in the case making national headlines tonight, the teenager who killed 4 people in a drunk driving accident. His defense team saying he was from a wealthy family, too spoiled to understand what he had done, the so-called affluenza teen. Ethan Couch, turning 19 just 2 days ago, appearing in court as an adult for the first time and learning his fate today. As it's also revealed that American taxpayers spent tens of thousands of dollars on his rehab because his family said they didn't have the money. So what was his punishment? Here's ABC's Matt.
People reward bad behavior in America.
The Texas judge stunning a packed court today with that ruling against the so-called affluenza teen, Ethan Couch.
After the first 180 days, then the second 180 days will start.
180 days for each of the 4 victims. In total, the Fort Worth judge ordering the 19-year-old to serve almost 2 years in county lockup for probation violation. In 2013, Couch was sentenced to probation for killing 4 people in a drunk driving crash. He was 16 then, turned 19 on Monday.
This favoritism that he's still a kid or a juvenile is gone. It expired at 12 o'clock Monday. He's now an adult. He needs to be treated like one.
Couch has been in jail since January.
They say he was 16 when that happened. Are you old enough to drive at 16?
With that mop of dyed hair and a shaggy beard, he was directed into court by Sheriff D. Anderson.
Certainly this...
Are you able to drink at 16?
Basically in a single cell, by himself, with no privileges. That's a rude awakening for anyone.
Especially for a teen whose $1 million legal...
Are you able to buy liquor at 16?
Too pampered to go to jail. As part of his original sentencing, Ethan was ordered to a state-run rehab, but his millionaire parents said they couldn't afford to pay. So the state stepped in, taxpayers shelling out tens of thousands of dollars, 17 times more than the Couches. David?
Matt Gutman with us tonight. Thanks, Matt.
16 years old. I can't remember. I don't think you can drive at 16. I know damn sure. I know for sure you can't buy no liquor at 16. You don't supposed to be drinking at 16. So if you ain't got a license and you driving drunk and you kill 4 people and you only get probation compared to these guys selling marijuana, getting life sentences. Only in America, y'all. Only in America. I'm not done. Be patient. I'm not done. Y'all stay with me. Let me know. Put a thumbs up in the chat, in the comment section. Let me know y'all still here with me. So we're going to move right along. We got a guy by the name of Brock Turner. He was a college student at Stanford. He was a swimmer. He was convicted of sexually assaulting an unconscious woman. The woman couldn't protect herself. The woman couldn't defend herself. She was unconscious. So he could do anything he wanted to do to this woman. But the judge worried that a prison sentence would have a severe impact on him. He served 3 months. He served 3 months in a county jail.
In January 2015, Stanford University student Brock Turner was caught sexually assaulting an unconscious woman behind a dumpster. The case gained national attention not only for the crime, but also for the leniency of the sentence that followed. Turner was convicted of 3 counts of sexual assault, but received a mere 6-month jail sentence, sparking outrage across the country. The victim, known as Emily Doe, delivered a powerful statement during the sentencing hearing, detailing the profound impact the assault had on her life. Her words resonated with many, igniting a movement against sexual violence and the judicial system's treatment of victims. Turner's case highlighted the privilege often afforded to athletes and the systemic issues within the legal system that allow perpetrators to evade serious consequences. Public outcry led to petitions demanding justice and changes in California's laws regarding sexual assault sentencing. In response to the backlash, Turner was released after just 3 months for good behavior.
I got cut. I don't even want to watch no more of that shit. Because first of all, he should have got more time just for being a fucking psycho. Why would you want to sexually assault somebody? That's kind of rape. That's like a rape too, ain't it? Why would you want to sexually assault somebody who's unconscious? They should have threw some type of rape or some type of battery charges on him. Sexual battery and all kind of shit. But what kind of sick individual wanna as a man, sex is more joyful knowing that a woman would want to give it to you. She will feel comfortable. Knowing that she's comfortable, her body's at ease, and she feel in her natural habitat, being with me. That's a more joyful feeling. Compared to this uncivilized roach sexually assaulting an unconscious woman. Instead of trying to help her, call an ambulance, get her some help if she's unconscious, the first thing you think is to fucking try to get your rocks off. Somebody make that shit make sense to me. Yeah, it should carry a life sentence. It should carry any sentence more than a person selling weed, in my honest opinion. So, I want y'all to sit with those two realities at the same time. Think about those videos I just showed y'all. I think I showed y'all 5 videos. I want y'all to sit back and think about those two realities. Life in prison for $20 of marijuana. Probation for killing 4 people. 3 months for sexually assaulting somebody who was unconscious. And then somebody look you dead in your damn face and tell you that this system is fair. They'll look you dead in your face and tell you that this system is fair. But it be the crooks that'll tell you that shit. So let's zoom out and talk about what this does to the actual communities. Because, you know, the individual cases, they can be devastating, but the systemic impact, that's generational. When you look at a person, when you look at a parent or something, you look at a parent that's doing 15 years on a drug charge, you don't just remove that damn person. You destabilize a whole household. The kids grow up without parents. They financial in a burden. The family collapses. The kids are more likely to end up in poverty. And they more likely to end up in that same system as their parents themselves. So it's a cycle that kind of feeds itself. That's why I say at the beginning of this video, I used to go to courtrooms, when I used to get in my little trouble and shit, I used to go to court back, when I was younger. I used to just look at these judges, and in my mind, I wish it wasn't no security guards and no police out. I wish I could just run up there and slap the shit out of them. But I can only think that I couldn't do it. Because I'll probably still be locked up. Black men in America are incarcerated 5 times more than the rate of white men in this country. Let me read the comments before I go to that. No, it ain't no justice. Snoop, you saw those videos I was just showing. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. It's fucked up. So, what was I saying? Black men are incarcerated five times the rate of white men in this country. Y'all think that's because black men commit more crimes? Hell no, you're a damn fool if you believe that. And I'm not making this racial. I'm just stating the facts. I base my opinion off of research and statistics. And the studies shows that drug use are roughly equal across the board. But you got the black man that's 3 times more likely to be arrested for marijuana possession, despite the same usage rate. Now, what do that do to a community over 40, 50 years? What do that do? You remove fathers. You remove the earners of the household. You create these records on people that follow them forever. You make it hard for them to get jobs. You make it hard for them to get loans. You make it hard for them to vote. You make it hard for them to vote in certain states. You basically create a permanent underclass. And then when those damn same communities that you're doing the harm to struggle economically and socially, people point at them. They'll point at us. I'm going to say us because I'm one of them people that they point at. They'll point at us and say, see, something must be wrong with those people. First of all, who the fuck is those people? No. Ain't nothing wrong with those people. Ain't nothing wrong with us. Something is wrong with what was done to us. That's a big ass difference. That's a big difference. Go back to the comments. No, it ain't us. But like I said, I ain't making this a racial. I ain't really trying to make this a black against white thing. Well, my problem with tonight, who I got the problem with tonight, is the United States of America justice system. The American justice system is who I got the problem with. Because the justice system, the people who's in control of the justice system, they got the power. They can change a lot of things if they wanted to. And it don't take much. When you got power like that, all you need is a pen. This right here will change a lot. This is powerful because you can sign some legislation. You can sign laws in and you can remove some of the bullshit laws. You can do a lot with this pen. So I'm not, I remember back when I was younger, and I don't even know if this is true to today. They used to tell me that like Hispanic people come over here from different countries and they don't have to pay taxes. I don't know if that's true to this day or not. I don't know. But if they didn't have to pay taxes, I'm not mad at them. I'm mad at the people who's in power to let them move along like that. Because if I pay taxes, I feel they should pay taxes. I feel like if they don't pay taxes, I shouldn't pay taxes. And it ain't no hate against them. Like I say, I got the problem with the people who make these decisions. You got gay marriage. I don't have no problem with people getting married that's gay. I might have something to say with the people who come up with this law to allow them to do that. I might have a problem with them. You know what I'm saying? I have problems with the power structure. I don't have people with the individuals. It's the people in charge that I had a problem with. You got these neighborhoods that was hit hit the hardest by drug enforcement. The black communities, they was hit by the hardest drug enforcement. And those same neighborhoods was often intentionally flooded with drugs in the first damn place. The CIA had a connection with the damn crack epidemic. This is a broken system. This is a system that's working against us. That's what that is. I think I done talked too long. How long I've been on this thing? I know it's been over an hour. I know I have. But if anybody want to call in, I'll take some calls. You know what I'm saying? Oh, but one other thing. While we here, I want to talk about the audacity of this country that we call the United States of America, locking people up, while at the same time, simultaneously profiting. They still profiting while they got the audacity to lock people up. Do y'all know that alcohol killed over 96,000 people in the United States? It's sold on every corner. I was just talking to somebody early today who was pointing out all the liquor stores in my neighborhood. I can get to 5 liquor stores within 3 minutes, going in any direction. 5. It's sold on every corner. They advertise it during the damn Super Bowl. That's sponsored by the teams, the sports teams. Tobacco kills over 480,000 people a year. It's crazy. You got the pharmaceutical companies. They push the damn opioids, those prescription drugs. They push that shit into the communities with predatory marketing. You know what I'm saying? They bribe doctors. They created an opioid epidemic that has killed over 500,000 people in the United States in the last 2 decades. You got a family, I think it's called the Sackler family. They own Purdue Pharma. They paid fines and filed for bankruptcy to avoid the accountability. But guess what? They still billionaires. So you might have a guy selling pain pills on the street because he got addicted after the doctor handed him too many, like they was some damn candy or something. And now he doing federal time. But the legal drug industry has more blood on their hands than every street level dealer combined. All over all over the world. Fuck it. I'm gonna step out on a limb. All over the world. They got more blood on their hands than any street dealer combined. But they have shareholders meetings and shit. The difference ain't morality. The difference is money and power. and who's doing the selling. I'm gonna say that again. The difference is money and power and who's doing the selling. Let me go back to the comments real quick. All right, y'all, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long. If anybody wanna call in before I go, I think I done been on here about a good hour and a half, maybe longer. If anybody wanna call in and express their opinion, feel free to do so right now. I'll give you a few minutes. But yeah, you gotta be careful out here, man. And these motherfuckers out here arguing back and forth about the damn Republicans and Democrats. I remember, you got everybody, a lot of people mad at Donald Trump because he's really destroying this country. But I remember just like a couple of years ago when you had the Democrats. You had a Democratic president by the name of Joe Biden. And you remember when everybody was mad at Joe Biden because he was damn near trying to force everybody to take that shot, Y'all remember that? See, people forget so damn fast. People forget so fast. You remember a lot of people lost their jobs, nurses and shit, lost their jobs because they didn't want to take that. So a couple of years forward, we forget about that. And I get tired of hearing these folks talking about Democrats, Republicans. I don't give a damn about none of them. They both sides evil. What you don't realize is this crime bill, we was talking about the drugs and the crime bill, that was Joe Biden doing back in the days, way back in the days. Go research. So you get mad at the Republicans. 4 years later, you mad at the Republicans, you mad at the Democrats, and you going back and forth like some fucking groupies. You only got two options to choose from. They make you mad today, Republicans make you mad tomorrow, Democrats make you mad next week. You're going back and forth like some fucking groupies. So I hate when these folks come to my house talking about sticking signs in my goddamn yard about a damn Republican. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a damn cause my mama, my grandmama, everybody in my family voted for Democrats. I don't give a damn who voted for them. I ain't voting for none of them sons of bitches. Only way I vote for anybody, whether it's Republican or a Democrat, if I agree with their policies. Nobody's gonna talk me into doing anything. If I can see, hear some good policies, have some trust in these uncivilized roaches, then maybe I would. See, I was about to get into a rant. But before I go there, I'm going to go on and end this thing. Anybody want to call in before I get out of here? Hey, y'all. Hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I really do. I appreciate y'all support. But before I go, I got to remind y'all to do one thing. It's free to hit that subscribe button on YouTube. It's free. Do it for your boy. It don't take long. It don't take long at all. But listen, I enjoyed y'all. I had a good show tonight. I enjoyed talking to y'all. And we'll be back tomorrow. Oh. If y'all got any topics that y'all think y'all may want me to discuss, inbox me, email me, contact me, do whatever you need to do. So let's talk about these topics that you may have. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. Y'all have a blessed one. I love you all. Y'all, good night.